It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Hope you had some Halloween fun and enjoyed at least a little bit of football this weekend. Time to meet Team 370. Darien Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions. He's a broadcaster, he's an entrepreneur, and he is 1-0 as Michigan State's first director of football engagement. Congratulations.
Thank you. Never thought I'd really be taking that trip back up or down the road. I know that was a big thing this week, up versus down the road, but down the road. But did, and glad to come away from the W. It was definitely an unforgettable experience as a first-year member on this staff, and just hats off to everybody, from the players to the staff to the former players who helped us get ready for the game, to everybody that went into getting that W. It was a true team effort.
You got a chance to see Paul again, and there's a photo of you and Paul Bunyan together. There we see you look like your old buds.
Yeah, it's been 5 years, so it's kind of like that same feeling that LeBron had winning the title this year after having not won one since, 2016. You know, it's been 5 years since I last beat that other team from down the road. So it was a great feeling again to hold Paul, and I'm glad he's back in the Hall of History at MSU now.
Also want to welcome Tom Crawford, Bluebelly Tom, my broadcast partner for 18 plus years. He's a regular contributor to the Wolverine.com and creator of the Crawford Podcasting Network. How was your weekend, Tom?
I'm still processing this. Hey, I've gone on public saying the most discouraging time in Michigan football in the 56 years I've been following this program since I was an 8-year-old in that stadium at 64.
You know, we saw 5 years ago the Surrender Cobra. Now we got something else with tears here. I guess these are U of M tears that Michigan State fans are taking in. So there was a lot of shocked reaction yesterday, Tom, and I'm sure you had a shocked reaction at Crawford Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, maybe Michigan should refer to the team up the road and just get more snarl in this rivalry. Okay, maybe that's a start right there.
I don't know what it is about this series, guys.
Yeah.
It seems like the road team plays better. Not sure why. We know that the crowd is not a factor. At least it hasn't been in 2020. But going all the way back, it seems like road teams have had a little bit of an advantage. Michigan State certainly winning 5 of the last 7 trips to Ann Arbor. We'll be right back. We're going to start with our Going Green segment. Get a Michigan State perspective on what happened yesterday at Michigan Stadium.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
Gary Peters makes government work for himself. Peters has a Cadillac health plan, only available to politicians, and Michigan taxpayers get the bill. Worse, Peters is pushing government-run healthcare that could raise your taxes even more and slash hundreds of billions for hospitals. Cadillac healthcare for Peters and a crappy health plan for you. And Peters would make you pay for both. More for Gary Peters, less for you. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Which, by the way, sidebar, when I had to show up on the set of Boys on the Side and tell you I got married over the weekend, I was talk about shame. I was like, yeah, no, I wasn't really talking about this guy last week, but I'm married to him now. So happy Monday. And I was embarrassed because I care about what you think.
Then you remembered that I'd done it also pretty much the same way. Hey, yes, I'm here. Yeah, no, I did get married. Yeah, what's his name? Wait a minute, I know it. But let's finish what you're talking about, and then we'll get to what his name is. Yeah.
It's a real how was your weekend moment.
Yes, it is.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go. A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Oakland. 106 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf.
This game is very important. It's not just another game, and we all know that it's important to our players. It's important to our former players. It's important to all of our fans and our alums. And so, just very proud of our team, the way we bounced back. We took care of the football today. We played hard, played for 60 minutes. The guys believed. I'm just very proud of this football team.
Darien Harris, 27-24 win for the Spartans. And when I saw you Monday at Capital City Market, we were talking about the knee-jerk overreaction some people had. I guess Saturday proved they don't all count one, and Mel Tucker and his staff get to keep their job for another week.
Well, I hope so, because I'm included in that. But no, I mean, that's sports, is knee-jerk reactions, and I get it. I'm a fan of the Lakers, for example, and when something that goes awry, I get frustrated. But I just feel like, when you're in it and when you understand it, you have a little bit more patience to let things kind of unfold. And that's what we had to do for this. We had to kind of figure out what went wrong, of course, in week 1, correct it, and move on to week 2. That's all it comes down to on a base level. Now, there were other things, of course, other factors to play, because it's not just another game like Coach Tucker said, but ultimately it comes down to technique and fundamentals and following Coach Tucker's lead. And he's the general of this ship, and I'm just proud that he got his first win.
First coach in Michigan State history to have his first win be against Michigan. And he joins Nick Saban as the only 2 Michigan State coaches to beat Michigan in their first meeting. Tom, the Spartans cut their turnovers from 7 to 0 and unleashed Ricky White as a deep ball partner for Rocky Lombardi. How did this all come together?
Well, they exploited a weakness. Jamon Green, Vincent Gray, the corners for the University of Michigan, really struggled all day. We saw that from the first series. And, Rocky Lombardi, who was terrific. I thought last week against Rutgers, he was even better this week. And it was, I felt that Don Brown thought that Charles Woodson and Ty Law were going to walk down that tunnel and play those corner slots. I mean, I'm surprised, actually, Jack and Darien, that Michigan State didn't throw the ball more. I mean, you were either going to get an interference call, a legitimate interference call, or you're going to get a good catch. And when you had, 6 different receivers or whatever for Michigan State making grabs, making good, big-time grabs, especially Ricky White. This kid came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of him, but he was absolutely terrific in this game.
Darien, what does a win like this do for Connor Hayward? A lot of consternation about what he would bring to the team. And he has 2 touchdown catches. Here you see the game winner on the screen. Beautiful block by Nick Samak there. And also recovers the onside kick. And also for Antoine Simmons from Ann Arbor Pioneer. And he has 11 tackles and that deflection in the end zone. Those 2 guys have to feel particularly good about this game.
Yeah, no doubt. And, for Connor, I think it affirms that he definitely has a huge role on this team and in this offense. He's a very valuable weapon for us out of the backfield. And for Antoine to get that that final win, at home for him, being from Ann Arbor in his last game. He was instrumental in getting us ready for that game this week. But I think ultimately, as a competitor, you don't go into the game needing a win or needing to play well to affirm to yourself who you are. Connor and Antoine, and Connor in particular, because we know what Antoine brings to the table. Connor's a very confident player. He knows what type of player he is. He didn't need a game like this to tell himself that he is very valuable to this team.
Tom, let's take another look at MSU's schedule. And at 1-1, what happens in the next 4 games, critical. They're at Iowa this week, at home versus Indiana, and they get resurgent Maryland on the road and back here for Northwestern. The Spartans were 3-0 against those teams last year. Can they be 3-1 this time, provided all those games are played?
Well, yeah, if they minimize the turnovers, I mean, look at that schedule. I mean, they can win all those games. In fact, Iowa, I'm surprised, is a heavy favorite. I'm picking Michigan State in that game, and Iowa's got a wideout that was suspended from that team. And Niall Kinnick Stadium's not going to be ruckus, you know what I mean? And as far as loud crowd, I think they can win them all. The way they minimize the turnovers and they get that offensive line play that I was really impressed by. And they're in both sides of the ball were very good for Michigan State, obviously against Michigan.
We've seen the bad Michigan State, and we've seen the good Michigan State, and some people say it's usually somewhere in the middle, but Michigan State certainly got the message it's your greatest improvements between the first and second game.
Absolutely.
So Michigan got that a little turned around, a little dyslexia there, I know. All right, we will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about this game from the Michigan perspective. And we're going to take a long look at the rivalry, what it means with these schools, and what a great rivalry. Tom and I always say it's the best in the country when you look at all sports. We'll be right back with that on Press Pass.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
It's an all-new season of TV's #1 show, The Masked Singer, Wednesday on Fox.
Jackson's Underworld presents Fox 47's Haunted Halloween. Get pumpkin carving ideas, take a tour through the scariest haunted houses, and browse through galleries of costume ideas, home decor, and safety tips. Find this and more at fox47news.com/Halloween.
Sign up for Santa Zoom's Hello Today.
So what do you want to be when you grow up?
Probably work at the North Pole.
I might just Zoom your family this holiday season. Ho, ho, ho!
Have you experienced the comfort of a well-fitting bra? Visit Bras That Fit for the support your body deserves, with sizes in stock from 32A to 54K. We carry the perfect fit for all seasons, from elegant styles to sportswear, swimwear, and more. For the perfect fit, come see us at Bras That Fit.
Businesses are handling this difficult time with grace, which inspired Huntington to offer some in return. Introducing 24-Hour Grace for Business. If your business overdrafts, you now have an extra day to cover it and avoid a fee. Huntington, welcome.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, go to theticketmachine.com.
Hi, welcome to Tom's Take. Sunday morning, I'm drowning my sorrows in a Jethro-sized bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes. Big bowl, big spoon. Tonight on Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Fox 47, 11 o'clock. Also, you can see it on demand on the Fox 47 website. I'm going to tell you how discouraged I am about this Michigan football program after yesterday's debacle in Ann Arbor at the corner of Stadium and Main. More discouraged, actually, than that infamous Labor Day nationally embarrassing loss to Appalachian State. I said all the reasons. It's going to trickle out tonight, as well as on the Wolverine.com podcast with John Borton tomorrow.
Tom Crawford, was your lunch or your dinner any better than your breakfast after a game that was dubbed a serial killer by our friend Terry Denbo?
Actually, I exercised the creed of the late George Perlis with the 24-hour rule. So by dinner time tonight, I was over it. I moved on. I moved on to Indiana and muttering with my fellow Michigan fans and fellow alumni about the plight of this Michigan football program moving forward. It's discouraging, to say the least.
Darien, I don't know if yesterday was the end of the Wolverines' season, at least the season they envisioned, or whether it was a serious blow for Jim Harbaugh and his tenure at University of Michigan. But when you look at this and you see where the Wolverines are, you can see why some people think things are as bad as they seem to be.
Yeah, again, I mean, knee-jerk reactions, as we kind of talked about in the first segment. That's just the nature of sports. When your team's doing well, you're excited about everything in place. You're excited about who's at the helm. You're excited about who you got. When they're not doing well, or they lose a game that you think they should win, or lose to a rival, it's frustrating, and you're ready for an instant reaction. You want something to change immediately. I just always caution everybody to first think about, you know, who could you get that's better? Is there somebody out there that is better? And also just understand that everything's fluid, everything's flowing, and nobody's ever going to be as disappointed as the players and as the staff of these teams when they lose.
28-point win over Indiana, and suddenly things change this week, right?
Yeah, that's football. That's what I always say.
Tom, what's the future for Jim Harbaugh, and what's the likelihood that he can ever get this Michigan program, he can ever get to Indy for anything besides a Colts reunion?
Well, let me answer part two. No, it's not going to happen under Jim Harbaugh, and it's because of that, the 800-pound gorilla or whatever. Ohio State's sitting in the way, and as long as Ryan Day's there and they're funneling in great players, it's not going to happen. Listen, I've been spending, since we've been doing radio and Jim Harbaugh started in December of 2014. I've been defending this guy. I have no gas in my tank anymore defending this guy. There's droplets in there right now. But how do you defend when you cannot match the intensity of the rival down the road or up the road, whatever you want to call it? Michigan State comes in there and beats them physically, emotionally. That's why people are having a hard time stomaching it from a Michigan standpoint.
Darien, taking another look at the Wolverines' remaining schedule, 6 games left before the crossover. How many wins do you see for the Wolverines? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6?
I'm not sure. It's hard to put a number on it, just because something I've always said is that the Big Ten Conference as a whole, and the Big Ten East specifically, is maybe, besides the NFC West this year, I think it's the most competitive division in sports, period. I think anybody can be anybody on any given day. I think we've seen that to start this year off. And at the end of the day, you have to be at your best to beat anybody on any given day.
And COVID is another complication. The Michigan-Wisconsin game, Graham Mertz, it makes a big difference. We don't know how that's going to unfold later in the season. We'll be right back looking at the rivalry up next.
Things can change in a heartbeat.
I know. My wife and 3 children were Christmas shopping. Tractor trailer killed my wife and killed my daughter. I was probably the only senator that ever sworn in a hospital because I didn't want to leave my sons.
For Joe Biden, health care access is personal. And in coronavirus's wake, we need Joe's plan. Double the number of testing sites, free vaccines, save and extend Obamacare. A real plan, and the resilience to lead the way. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Come on down to Total Firearms in Mason and check out our huge selection of hunting, fishing, and archery equipment. And we love the Lions.
Sometimes.
Are you sick and tired of your old business printer? At Cartridge World in Okemos, you can get brand name printers at no cost. Just buy our quality printer cartridges and we provide the printers for free. Cartridge World in Okemos, just down the road from Meridian Mall.
Kim Cattrall and Filthy Rich, all new Monday on Fox.
Dr. Leonard Hofstetter. Cool. Redefined.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority. The GLSA has brought thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for hundreds of tournaments and special events. And we'll do that again in 2021, showing just what Mid-Michigan can be.
You all know the story. We don't like them. They don't like us.
You know, it's why you go to Michigan State. It's why you go play football in the Big Ten.
64 miles. A whole state divided.
You know, because no matter if you're from Western Michigan or Central Michigan, Michigan State versus Michigan is always a big game.
The battle for Paul. A game like no other. That dates back decades.
You're looking at 3 seniors right here from the state of Michigan, and for the rest of our life, we will walk the streets of this state. For the rest of our life.
It's always been here, and it isn't going anywhere. New process, same rivalry. Go Green.
Tom Crawford, how do you explain the best 1-state, 2-school, 3-sport rivalry in the country to your Michigan buddies who would rather beat Ohio State?
Well, you know, from a student body standpoint, a lot of the students are out of state, so they look at the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry as the bigger rivalry. I was from this town. I was brought up in this town. Went to the other school down the road, and so it means more to me. And I think when more Michigan State students are from the state of Michigan, same with players over the years. Hey, listen, Michigan State has got this rivalry down to a science. They just exceed Michigan's want for this game, priority for this game. We saw it epitomized no more than it was yesterday, and it starts at the line of scrimmage. Michigan State yesterday won it in the trenches, and that goes to flat-out intensity.
Darien, we said 4-1 as a player, lost your freshman year, redshirt freshman year, and then came back and got 3 more, and back with another celebration yesterday. Can you tell us what it was like yesterday about 4 o'clock?
I mean, the locker room was unbelievable. It was a great experience for everybody, and there was a lot just riding on that game. Obviously, you know, the rivalry, but Coach Tucker's first win, you know, coming off of a disappointing loss, of course, the week before, and all the chatter, outside noise, as we like to call it in sports, of people kind of counting us out, you know. So we played the underdog role that we do so well, the disrespect card that I know everybody that's Michigan State faithful was familiar with.
Yeah.
And it worked out well for us. I mean, but we buy into the rivalry. I think it's no secret of that. You saw with the videos and stuff our creative team puts together. We put a lot on that game. We put the pressure on us, and then hopefully we rise to the occasion, which we were able to do yesterday.
Well, there weren't many people outside the Duffy Daugherty building who thought you were going to play the way you did yesterday. That was very impressive, and it was game long. It was nothing fluky. No Michigan turnovers. If you had told me before the game Michigan State was going to win, but Michigan wasn't going to help them, I wouldn't have believed it. Tom, Wolverines are 1-6 at home against Michigan State and Ohio State under Jim Harbaugh, and have lost to the Spartans 3 times in Michigan Stadium as a double-digit favorite. Why?
Well, it's back to that intensity level. I mean, you know, other than like Darien's senior year was what, 2015, and that team had some dudes. So that was a justified loss, I'll say it. And they went on to the CFP and the Big Ten title. But 16, 17, 18, and 19, those Michigan State teams can't match Michigan talent-wise,
right.
And they've won a couple of games. It's ridiculous. I mean, those were some marginal teams and some bad teams there, and yet Harbaugh is only 3-2 against Michigan State in those 5 games. So it starts with him. He does not have his team ready the way Mark D'Antonio did, and obviously how Mel Tucker did. It's shameful.
Darien, I want to take a look at the last 13 matchups in the series. Michigan State now 9-4 in those games, including the first 8-2 decade for any Michigan State coach against Michigan, and this cuts the series deficit to 38, 31-2 since 1950, what we consider modern football when Michigan State's been accepted into the Big Ten. Why have the Spartans been so much better against U of M than any other team except the Buckeyes?
I mean, again, I think Thomas hit the nail on the head, and we have to just keep reiterating it. It's the emphasis we put on this game. We say it's not another game. Coach Tucker said it after the game. You know, that's not another game. He said it before the game that it's not another game. You know, George Perlis' statement, "They all count one," doesn't quite equate to this one. This one's different, and when you put that much emphasis on it, and again, the pressure you put on yourself to perform and the energy you have to bring to it, then you usually rise to the occasion.
Before Mark D'Antonio, win or lose, Michigan State usually played an awful game the week after playing Michigan. That changed. We'll see if Mel Tucker can get his team ready for this trip to Iowa City. We'll be right back.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. eat Woody's, and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
The only station with local news weeknights at 6:30.
Fox 47 News.
The Big Bang Theory brings you the Genius Guide to Love.
Awkward silence, no touching, somebody's having date night.
Always play it cool.
Sex at work? Leave it alone, that's my girlfriend. Who just had sex with me at work.
And good chemistry is a must.
Amy Bernadette Penny. Amy Bernadette Penny.
He's never gonna stop doing that, is he?
I'm hoping to put his love of repetition to good use someday.
The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Weeknights at 6, 7, and 11 on Fox 47.
It's Furniture Row's Veterans Day sale, so get ready because everything is on sale. You'll find sofas, dining sets, bedrooms, and mattresses at some of our lowest prices ever. Plus, decorating your entire home just got easier with 5 years no-interest financing and free shipping right to your door. And to salute our armed forces, all veterans and active duty military get a special in-store offer. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. The Veterans Day sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs.
This is Trask on the pass. And oh my. Well, we got some tempers flaring over there. I believe that was Coach Mullen, and now this is starting to get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, Florida needs to get out of here. They got a big game next week against Georgia, and I think that's what Dan Mullen was trying to do, is prevent any one of his players from doing something stupid. This is getting ugly. There's punches being thrown.
Yeah, that's getting beyond ugly. That's another one thrown.
Zachary Carter in there for Florida.
Oh,
This is getting bad. I mean, there's going to be some severe ejections. This is absolutely the last thing that Dan Mullen wanted for his ball club going into the cocktail party next week.
Missouri and Florida. It started with a very questionable hit on the quarterback just before halftime. And then the guy's going off to the field and punches thrown, some kicks. Coaches going at it a little bit. They finally brought them to the center of the field, made them shake hands. But then Dan Mullen comes back out and he's encouraging the crowd to get more worked up into this whole thing. He wanted 90,000 people there. He didn't get that yesterday. But Darien, what is the biggest altercation you can remember? Michigan State, maybe before a game, halftime, anything like that?
Not really, not for my time. I mean, we've had some spats at practice, but not really anything public like that. I mean, maybe 14 when put the stake in the ground, we might have said a couple things back and forth, but nothing to that extent.
You were gone by the time the walk from goal line to goal line occurred. Yeah, so by that point, that led to some other things. Tom, turning to the rest of the Big Ten, and want to take a look at the Big Ten standings here. We have never, and I mean never, seen Indiana, Purdue, and Northwestern start with a combined 6-0 league mark. Can any of those teams make it to Indy?
Well, yeah, because of this Wisconsin situation. We heard Barry Alvarez announce yesterday. In fact, I think you texted it to me. I mean, 26, 28 guys. Who knows what's going to happen with that program and how long COVID's going to go rampant through that program. So in essence, that opens up fair. It's all fair game for the West because there's not really a dynamite team. Minnesota's out of the equation. I watched Purdue a little bit. I was on the other screen yesterday. Not all that impressive against Illinois. They're just average teams. But the no crowd thing, I think, really it sheds a different light on things, and anybody can beat anybody on the road. I mean, it's just you're not dealing with crowd noise or communication. So anybody can win it in the West, I think.
Tom, let's be very clear. No one wants anyone to be COVID positive. No one is cheering for that for any opponents. But after Michigan surrendered 62 and 56 to Ohio State the past 2 seasons, do you think that maybe if there's some residual thing and that game wasn't played, that a lot of people would be shedding tears?
Well, I want it to be played. I want this Michigan football program to be exposed to what it is. And when they go down there, there won't be any huge crowd, obviously, down there in Columbus in December, or 12th or whatever. But I want to see how they do. And then Ward Manuel can evaluate this program at the end of the year, perhaps, before he signs an extension with the present head coach, Jim Harbaugh.
Darien, looking at what happened yesterday, Clemson struggled early without Trevor Lawrence, but then got it together and got past Boston College. Close game. There weren't a ton of upsets yesterday, but can Clemson beat Notre Dame now? It's been announced that Lawrence will not play in that game. What do you think?
You have to see. I mean, Notre Dame's playing very well. I think Clemson got that one under their belt, though, without having Trevor out there, having to play with
quarterback was good.
Quarterback. Yeah, quarterback was good. You know, it's typical Clemson fashion. You just shuffle somebody else in there, and you can kind of see the future there after Trevor decides what he's going to do. But Notre Dame's obviously a good team, a top 5, top 10 opponent. Everybody else for Clemson is going to have to play up even another level for them to come out victorious.
Tom, taking a look at the new AP Top 25 released this afternoon, the Michigan Wolverines are still in it. They fell from 13th to 23rd. They are 25th in the other poll, and they are early favorite, right, over Indiana?
I can't explain it at all. The most overrated team right now, and I'm saying that. I'm just telling it the way it is. Indiana would be a favorite to me. I think Indiana's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns.
When's the last time you went into a Michigan-Indiana game thinking, probably going to lose this one?
87, down there in that monsoon when Mallory beat them last time.
We'll be right back. We'll take a look at the Detroit Lions. Back to old habits today.
It's the Veterans Day sale at Furniture Row, so get ready because everything is on sale. Shop today and find some of our lowest prices ever, plus 5 years no interest and free shipping right to your door. The Veterans Day sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Come on down to Grow Generation for all your grow supply needs. Check out our brand new 15,000 square foot location in Lansing. We've got it all, from organic nutrients and soils to state-of-the-art hydroponic equipment and lights. Whether you're a novice or a pro, Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for all supplies. Since 2014, Grow Generation has been offering the best selection, service, and solutions in the industry. Ask about Sun Leaves, our brand new in-house line of nutrients. Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow.
Aren't you tired of being tired? Shop Denver Mattress today and get all the Z's you need. And during the Veterans Day sale, get the Summit Firm for only $189.99 plus 5 years no interest. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
All new I Can See Your Voice After the Masked Singer, Wednesday on Fox.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Stop and see Chuck and Delita and their terrific staff and pick up all your fresh favorites. That's why I'm there every week. Here you see the story of the Lions 41-21. Lost to the Indianapolis Colts, and the Lions have been good at coming from behind, but this time they went and took an early lead, and then next thing you knew, they were down by 13 points at the half. Got it close in the third quarter, and then Matthew Stafford turns the ball over, and the fourth quarter was all Indianapolis. Tom, how did the Lions revert to all these bad habits, and why do all their wins come on the road?
Well, the wins on the road, I mean, they're playing bad teams on the road, playing Atlanta. I mean, you know, it's who they play. They can beat bad teams. They got that down to a science, Matthew Stafford does. But the pick six today was a backbreaker. And, you know, the Colts are a good team. And then Kenny Golladay going out in the third.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge. I mean, it really, you can see how Matt Stafford relies on him, because that dude goes out and makes plays, and he doesn't care about his body. Yeah. And he's the heart and soul of that team, I think, Kenny Golladay.
Marvin Jones made a couple plays today, but they could not run the ball at all. And obviously you give up 41 points in National Football League, you have some problems. Darien, taking a look at these NFC North standings, it wasn't a good week for the NFC North. You see the Bears, they are actually not in first place now after the loss they had to New Orleans. But the Packers, stunned by the Vikings, that seemed to shock a lot of people. How did the Vikings get the best of Green Bay at Lambeau Field?
Well, Dalvin Cook had an unbelievable game. You know, you talk about the Lions not being able to run the ball. On the other end, the Vikings were able to run the football, and that's what I think any NFL or football aficionado at any level consistently talks about. If you can run the football, you control the pace of the game, and that's how important it is to have a running game. The Vikings sure had that today.
4 touchdowns for Dalvin, 3 on the ground, 1 as a receiver. It seemed like they were going about a month without 4 touchdowns, so that made a tremendous difference. Tom, back to the Lions for a minute. Taking a look at what is a still manageable schedule with some games that they can win, what will their record be after the game with the Texans on Thanksgiving Day?
Well, looking at that schedule, I think there'd be a 6-5. I think they're going to lose to the Panthers and beat the other 3 teams, Washington, the Vikings, and the Texans. But, you know, once again, like I said before, they're good at beating marginal teams. They will do that, and they won't get a good draft pick. They'll be in the middle. The fans will be frustrated, and we'll eat turkey while watching a 6-5 Lions.
Thanksgiving Day. We always get a Cowboys game on Thanksgiving Day. That's not going to be as appealing as it normally is either.
No, it's not. I mean, the NFC East is interesting, and as are the Cowboys. And injuries, of course, always take a part in that. Of course, Dak going down, Andy Dalton going down as well. It's got to see what's going on there. And the Cowboys defense obviously has to get shored up. But, you know, strange things happen on Thanksgiving. You know, it's kind of their big day also. You talk about rivalries and things like that. They always try to play up on Thanksgiving. Been watching them, of course, my whole life on that day. So we'll see what happens.
We could have a 10-6 team in, say, the NFC West that would not get in as a wild card, while a 7-9 team could get in the division. Do you like that, or do you think you should have to be at least 500 to get in?
I think you have to stick with the way it is right now. You know, again, as I mentioned before, I think the NFC West right now is the most, it's the toughest division in all the sports. So it's just going to be a little bit frustrating, I think, for whoever's in 3rd or 4th place there. Probably have a really good record, but won't get into the playoffs.
All right, let's take a look at all of the action we have heading into the night game tonight. But we're talking about Thursday, and then the afternoon games, and then the late afternoon games. Darien, what surprised you or impressed you?
I mean, I think you, of course, got to look at the Vikings over the Packers, even though Aaron Rodgers had another big game. But just the way the Chiefs continue to dominate, and I know it was the Jets, I understand that, but Pat Mahomes is unbelievable. I mean, he had an underhand pass, touchdown to Travis Kelce on a little bit of a tight end shovel pass type of situation. I mean, they're just, it's you know, it's the greatest show on turf 2.0 again, and they're just out there playing basketball out there. It's unbelievable to watch.
Tom, was there something that impressed you or surprised you today when you look at all the action this weekend?
impressed me. The Steelers defense once again. They beat the Ravens. That was a slobber knocker. I'll call it. 2 undefeated teams, 2 great teams. A Steelers defense that I fantasize that the Lions would have a defense like that. I mean, it's not like they didn't, they kept minimal yards. They just made stops when they need to make stops, and that's a mark of a good defense, in my opinion.
Gentlemen, what are the odds we get the Chiefs versus either the Steelers or the Ravens in an AFC Championship game?
Pretty high.
Pretty high. I think so, too. Don't know about the NFC. Not quite so sure about that one, although I really like Seattle. I think what they can do is a little bit scary. We will be back in just a minute at our Take It to the Bank segment. We're going to talk about misbehavior up next.
Are you sick and tired of your old business printer? At Cartridge World in Okemos, you can get brand name printers at no cost. Just buy our quality printer cartridges and we provide the printers for free. Cartridge World in Okemos, just down the road from Meridian Mall.
If you're hungry and you want a great deal, the $6.99 Super Slam is your perfect meal. It's pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon, and hash browns. It's enough breakfast for dinner, and it's as good as it sounds. See you at Denny's.
Cast your votes for the Top of the Town Awards at Fox47News.com today.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Touchdown, Crawford. What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Call this a World Series celebration gone too far. Fans taking to the streets across L.A., with some clashing with police and others targeting businesses. The damage was substantial.
Tom Crawford, 2 people shot and killed in the aftermath of what should be a joyous time, the Dodgers' first World Series championship since 1988. Why do people respond this way in celebration?
I don't get it. And Jim Rome used to always say, so do you riot when you win, or do you riot when you lose? I mean, it's winning obviously brings out craziness, and I hate to sound like grumpy old man here, but I don't get it. I don't get it at all. With COVID, I don't get it. People hanging out like what happened at Albert Street yesterday at Michigan State. Now, keep in mind, I understand beating Michigan, that's a big deal. But during COVID, they're out there and there's no mask. And I talked to a Michigan State student recently, and they said, you got to understand something, Tom. They just don't care.
I find that to be repulsive, offensive, inconsiderate to others around you, and kind of act like you've been there before. I think is a Barry Sanders phrase, why he always handed the ball to the official and didn't go into a 35-second dance with it. Darien, as much as we like to tease our rivals and trash talk after big wins like that, biggest verdict of 2020 is coming Tuesday with the election. And we know how proactive the athletic department has been at Michigan State with this. What is the lesson? What's the biggest thing that student athletes have learned about this through this COVID-impaired process?
Yeah, it's been a truly educational experience for student athletes everywhere. I've had several calls with player development specialists from across the country, and everyone's doing similar things, which is great. I think the one thing that student athletes have learned is that there are things that are important outside of your sport. And I think that has been an important lesson for them to learn as young adults, is that your sport is great and it gives you an opportunity to learn and to grow and to do what you love, but it's not the only thing that's going on in the world. And with COVID, with civic engagement, with this election, of course keeping everything bipartisan, it just allows our student athletes to realize that there is other things out there that they should focus on and learn about and be educated about, and they've embraced that extremely well. I think everyone's kind of looking forward to getting to Tuesday and getting past it no matter what, so we can just kind of put it behind us, because it's been exhausting, I think, for everybody. But again, I think our student athletes truly appreciate the work that's been done to get them the education that they need.
Nice to be able to watch something without 6 commercials for candidates various times. Tom, I want to switch gears here and talk about high school football. We are going to be in week 2 of the all-comers playoffs this week, and East Lansing debuting. I think they have a real shot to get to Ford Field.
They do. They got Portage Central. I'll tell you, the games that intrigue me involves DeWitt. I mean, DeWitt potentially could be playing Mason in a couple weeks, not to get ahead of ourselves.
Week from Friday.
Watch out for Waverly. It's got some athletes. They're playing at DeWitt, and Waverly held East Lansing to 17 points. They got some dudes on defense. Keep an eye on that game. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but it could be close for a while.
Yeah, I think there are a couple players at Waverly who are being recruited. I talked to a college coach who's very interested in one of them the other day, so we'll see what happens with that. We will be right back, and we're going to have our Cool and Smooth Awards, our Play of the Week, Team of the Week, Player of the Week, coming up next on Press Pass.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
Time to get your game on.
Sports wagering is now open at the all-new Dacey Sportsbook and Tap House, only at Firekeepers.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious.
Vedral dumps it underneath to Shameen Jones. They want a little lateral play here for Bo Melton. They'll keep it hot for Vedral. Once more. Hey, big fella. Raekwon O'Neal, take this. Oh, my goodness. Watch out. Still no whistle. Shameen Jones cuts it back inside. He's just tripped up. Ball still live. Vedral still keeps it going. Watch out! There are no whistles. There are no flags. This counts. Bo Melton on the business end of the most amazing play you may ever see.
This is the first time in 370 shows that we have aired a play that didn't count. And they said one of those laterals was that far forward, so it didn't count. But I liked it better than the Cal Stanford band play. Yeah, the guy didn't get cremated in the end zone, but you got tackles out there, right? You got offensive linemen throwing the ball around, not just a bunch of skill position guys playing flag football. All right, Team 370, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week. Darien, what do you have for our play of the week?
Play of the week, I'm going for the last touchdown for the Spartans and then the win on yesterday. On Saturday, it was the screen pass to Connor up the right sideline in the red zone. It was just a culmination of everyone doing their job, which is a lot of what you hear preached a lot in sports. But we truly saw it on that play. The execution from Rocky to get the ball to Connor first and foremost. Nick Samak at center, pulling around and kicking out the DB. Receivers on the perimeter, blocking their man. And the interior linemen taking their time, not being upfield and getting any type of violation. So everyone did their job, and it resulted in a touchdown.
That capped a 92-yard drive to put Michigan State up 10. Michigan came back with a 93-yard possession, but took forever to do it. 18 plays. There wasn't much time left after Hayward recovered the onside kick. And then Michigan State had a decision to make on 4th down, but Rocky Lombardi able to sneak for 3 yards on that play. Would have been interesting if he had been stopped short. Tom, what do you have for us for Team of the Week?
Well, it pains me to say this, but I got to give credit where credit is due. I got to give it to Michigan State. I'll tell you what, to bounce back from that 7-turnover performance against Rutgers, the fans were down on them, but hey, they focus on Michigan, that school down the road, and they delivered. They brought the intensity much more than Michigan did. They deserved to win, and my hat's off to them. I wish my school has as much intensity towards that rival as the other way around is.
Tom, I have to say you have handled this whole thing exceptionally well, but you've had a little too much experience at handling these things well here. But in terms of our player of the week in the effort for bipartisanship this week, I have 2 selections, and I can do that. My name's on the show. So I want to give a shout out to Larry Leonard Lage. He is 76 years old, and he has attended every University of Michigan game for 66 seasons until yesterday. And you see, here he is on Pauline Street in front of his home where they park cars 5 houses away from the big house. And the most interesting part of this is that in 66 years living where anyone can hear the Victors with the band, he has never heard a note. And that is because he is deaf, and his son is the one, Larry, Associated Press sports editor, who's gotten the signing you see at the games now, closed caption effect. Also, Paulie B, Paul Bunyan, is home. Here you see him with Mel Tucker, riding like a champ in the front of that bus. A lot of people say Ann Arbor is a world-class community. The Braccios tell me it's a great place to visit. But for some reason, Paul Bunyan doesn't want to live there. He keeps coming back to East Lansing, back to Duffy Daugherty Building. For Darien Harris, Tom Crawford, have a great week, everyone.